Spooky season is almost upon us, which is wild to say.
I don't need a map to find a little magic. Playing it by ears, yeah, playing it by ears. You and me right here, playing it by ears.
If you're thinking about going to Disney World in like the August, September, October timeframe, then you're going to maybe experience one of the most popular specialty ticketed events here at Disney, which is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I like to call it MSHP for short. I said MSHP. It hasn't caught on yet, but maybe one day.
It often gets shortened to Mickey's Not So Scary.
It's so hard to say Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Mm-hmm.
But it's easy to say MSHP.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, this event is so popular that even already, it is July 5th-ish when we're recording, nights like Halloween are already sold out. So if you are interested in this event because we're talking about it and it got you excited, go on the website right now and book, because if you wait any longer, the nights might not be available to you. But let's get into it.
By ears.
Are you, like me, wearing a Not So Scary official merchandise shirt?
I am.
This is from 2024. When I saw this shirt, I absolutely had to have it. I love this shirt so much. And then I have my not officially licensed Minnie Mouse bat ears that I bought to wear at Mickey's Not So Scary or ship.
They are cute. I will say that,
Thanks.
even if they're not licensed. I'm wearing just black ears. I was looking today at all my ears, and I have like 3 Christmas ears, but no Halloween ears, which is crazy because I love Halloween.
How
So I
did you
just
go
had
to
to
the
wear
event and not buy the ears?
I know. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was just so focused on getting a cool shirt that I just like overlooked the ears. But they're black ears, so it kind of works with the vibe. Yes, I also have a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party shirt. I really liked this shirt because it's like it was like black but then washed, so it has like this lighter grayish color, and I thought that was really unique. But I don't wear this shirt because it's so scratchy. I don't know if yours is scratchy, but mine is like really uncomfortable. So while it's cute and I like looking at it, I don't wear it a lot just for that. So I don't know. If you're going to go, make sure you touch it and really feel like it's going to be fun to wear, because I'm very sensitive to those things. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about the event, and we're going to explain what it is, and we're going to go over like the basics, details, and then because you and I have both been to one, we're going to talk about some tips and tricks and just our thoughts, recommendations. Hopefully we'll prepare you. If you're already going to go, we'll kind of run through everything you need to know. But if you've never heard of it, or you've heard of it but aren't sure about it, hopefully this will get you excited to maybe want to go, because it's one of my favorite events. I can't wait to go back. The reason I haven't gone back is because I have a small child, but once she's old enough, I'm going back because it is a great event. It is worth the money, in my opinion. Let's talk about it. It's a family-friendly Halloween celebration. It has a lot of exclusive entertainment, rare characters, has specialty food items and beverages that you can't always get during like the normal park time. And there's just so many cool experiences and stuff. We're going to go through all of them to kind of give you an understanding of why it's kind of expensive, why you might think it's worth paying extra money, because it's a separate ticket. So if you buy a ticket to Magic Kingdom, you do not get to go into Mickey's Not So Scary that same day. And if you buy a ticket to Magic Kingdom, the park does close early for these events. So be aware of that. If you aren't going to go to it, maybe don't go to Magic Kingdom that day because you won't get a full day.
Yep. But I think on the flip side, because this is a special ticketed event, the crowds are so much smaller. And
At the event or during the day?
At the event. I don't know about during the day, because I went the route of skip all parks during the day, just go to this event at night. You do not have to pay for the ticket and the event. You just pay for the event, which is like the price of a ticket.
It is.
But the ride lines are so much shorter. The problem is it's not necessarily the event to prioritize rides.
It is hard to allocate time for rides when there's just things that you can't always do that you get to do for those. And it is a limited event. It's from 7 to 12. So you only have 5 hours really for the full event time. So you kind of have to like have a game plan. And again, we're going to go through that and hopefully help you come up with a good game plan, because you have to be strategic if you want to do everything in a limited time. Leanne, let's talk about the details. What you got?
This is located in Magic Kingdom only. It
Mhm.
runs on specific nights from August through October 31st. And it's
Mhm.
probably like 1 or 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
Do you, about? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. As Kate mentioned, it runs from 7 to 12. That's going to be like the main programming. But if you have a ticket for this event, you can enter at 4. The normal park day crowds will still be there, but you can at least like do some of the rides or other things that you might want to do at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, so like if you are going to Magic Kingdom and you don't have a ticket for this, the park typically closes around 6. And that gives
Mm-hmm.
you like an hour of in between where people of normal day guests are leaving and people for the party are coming in.
Yep.
But because you can get in as early as 4 p.m., I highly recommend do not wait till 7 when it starts. Get there at 4, even though it will
Mm-hmm.
be more crowded because there's still day guests there. It just gives you a few more hours to do other things like rides or things. And we'll talk about like how I would
Yep.
spend that time. But you might as well get as much time as possible. If you go to Magic Kingdom during daytime hours, the park does close early at 6 p.m. So like you're not going to get your fireworks that day. You're not going to get the evening events or like the nighttime parade. That's important to you, do not go to Magic Kingdom that day. I will say, if you have a small child who can't make it the full day and leaves at like 5 p.m. anyways, I've gone to Magic Kingdom a few times now where they have special ticket events later that night, and the crowds are so much less during the day because, like you, a lot of people avoid those park days because they know they're going to have a shortened time, so they don't even go to Magic Kingdom at all. So if you don't mind skipping the evening stuff, this could be a really good opportunity for you to enjoy Magic Kingdom with less crowds.
And you might be wondering how they even like separate like the day park
Mm.
crowd from the ticketed event crowd. And so if you are part of the ticketed event, once you enter, you get a wristband and they funnel you off to the right where they give you a trick or treat bag and you'll get your first glimpse at some of those rare villains.
Yes, a really fun and warm welcome. Okay, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. So, going back to the quick details. So, pricing for this, we mentioned it's pretty expensive, similar to like a normal park day. It can run between $119 to $229 per person. I'm thinking this is probably towards like Halloween time is when it's going to be the most expensive. It's typically
Or
cheaper
Saturdays.
in like August timeframe because people aren't even associating August with Halloween. So, if you don't mind doing trick or treating in August, highly recommend that because you're going to find that more in the $119 range versus the $229, which is crazy for 5 hours at Magic Kingdom.
It's a park ticket.
It is. So we talked about exclusivity things. One of the biggest things here is exclusive entertainment. There are 3 big shows or experiences that are exclusive to this party. The first one is Not So Spooky Spectacular Fireworks. So during those days, like I said, the park closes early, so you won't get the normal fireworks. But even if you're at the event, it is also not the normal fireworks. It is specialty fireworks show just for Mickey's Not So Scary. So it's going to be more spooky, more villain heavy, more dramatic music. Very fun. I really, really enjoy seeing them. They typically have fireworks just once the night, but the parades are twice. So if you want to see fireworks, make sure you prioritize it.
Yeah. And they start with Jack Skellington coming out. So if your kids are Nightmare Before Christmas fans, try to be up front near the castle to get a good view of him.
Yeah, you can definitely see him. Like he's pretty giant. It's like a
Mhm.
puppet. But yeah, if you really
Mhm.
want a good close up, go as close to the front as you possibly can. And because there's less crowds, you don't have to stake out a good spot like 2 hours in advance. Like you could truly kind of weasel your way through compared to like normal fireworks times, which I really like.
So the next exclusive thing is Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade, and it runs twice. And it is going to be, like Kate said, villain heavy. If you like Haunted Mansion, there's like, at least when I went, there was a Haunted Mansion float. It's just going to be, it's not a parade that you will get to see without being at this event.
It starts with the Headless Horseman on a horse. That's like the guy that welcomes you to the parade. Super cool. Very unique. You can only see that for this. And they
Mhm.
do 2 parades. If you can, if you have older kids or you're just adults, I would try and see the later parade because you can get a way better spot without staking out in advance. Where the first parade, all the younger kids and families are going to go to that so they can leave earlier. Where when I've gone to the later one, I literally just walked up like 2 minutes before and got a perfect spot on Main Street. So if you can, do the later one. And then the third one is this Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular, not spectacular, Spelltacular. It is a stage show in front of the castle. It's themed to Hocus Pocus with the three witches. I really like this show.
It was the best.
It's so good.
Yeah. The actresses who play the witches are spot on.
I don't know how they do it, but every year I'm like, holy crap, you got the actresses to play them.
Yeah, it's Bette Midler. Yeah, they're so spot on. The story is a little hokey that they're like interacting with these other villains to try to create this spell, but you do get to see more rare villains.
Yeah. Yeah, and this one also plays a few times at night, and if you want to maximize your time, I try to do the last one. Like there's one right at midnight, like once the park closes, you can go and then you'll be one of the last ones out of the park, which is nice because once that's over, you can kind of just take your time and walk out of Main Street, which I like. So, and that one, when I went, there was like no one there because it was at midnight. So had a really good spot.
Yeah, and it's, you might be wondering like, wait, you said we only got 5 hours. Why are people leaving early? It's really hard to get your kids to stay out that late. Like I was pushing my kids to the limit for sure. They definitely fell asleep in the stroller on the way out. So it's worth it. Like try to make it like pump them full of candy and sugar if you have to, do a big afternoon nap before you go. Another great reason to not do parks in the morning is to save up your energy to do this party.
And another reason to go when it opens at 4 is because if you're not going to make it to midnight, you need as many hours as possible. So you might as well get there at 4 and try and do things that you can while things are not open yet. But yeah, okay. What are some other offerings? So we talked about the 3 exclusive ones, but they have some smaller things around the park that are also fun.
I know there's dance parties. I haven't done those. So maybe you have experienced those.
Yeah, there's like Disney Junior Gang in like Tomorrowland in Cosmic Rays, I think is where they dance. There's also one at the stage show at Tomorrowland, and that's where you see Stitch and Lilo, and I think Angel's going this year. And they're doing a little dance party. Fun for kids. I didn't have a kid when I went, so I didn't really stick around. Yeah. But yeah. They also have the cadaver dance. Did you see them when you went?
Yes. They were in Frontierland, like up on a building.
Yep.
And yeah, they're just it's the what's the normal name? I forget.
Dapper Dance.
The Dapper Dance. It's the Dapper Dance, but they have makeup on kind of like zombies and singing more Halloween themed songs.
Yeah. You don't need to like maybe make an effort to go see them, but if you're walking by, like take a second, enjoy the music. It's fun. And in that area, they also have some live music that plays in Frontierland a lot. That's where you can see the Country Bears. Who?
The parade?
Oh, yeah, the parade.
Good spot for the parade.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's where you can also meet Jack Sparrow. So, yeah, okay. Speaking of that, let's talk about some characters because one of the coolest things about this event is that you see rare characters. Same thing with Mickey's Merry Christmas, but this one for sure. And I don't think they've announced all the characters that you can meet in 2026, but we'll kind of talk through some of the typical ones that you can find that have been there in years past. So the one that you're always going to see is Sally and Jack Skellington. That being said, these are also the most popular people to see. So if you want to see them, be prepared to get in line as early as possible. They meet in Town Square Theater. They are so popular. So like for me, if I'm going to meet them, which wasn't on my list, but if I really liked to see them, as soon as I got in at 4, I would go immediately there and wait out. And what we'll say about characters is the ones that are like very popular, like Sally and Jack, and a few others we'll talk about, they typically will start meeting Halloween party guests before the party starts. And so maybe this is a good time to quickly talk about like, okay, so if you get there at 4 and the party doesn't start till 7, you can't get a lot of the exclusive food. You won't see any of the ride overlays. You won't see any of the exclusive entertainment. So then you're thinking to yourself, okay, what am I going to do for 3 hours where I still am doing something Halloween related, but maybe just like not wasting the time? To me, you can ride rides. The rides are open, but the day guests are still there. So the rides are going to be more busy than they will be at night. So maybe do some filler attractions that don't have long lines. That seems like a good idea. But what I did and I thought was cool was I figured out which rare characters are going to be meeting, and I went ahead and got in line because the rare characters will typically start meeting 4:30, 5:30. So you do have to wait still. You're still waiting like 45 minutes when you get there, but you're not wasting park or ticket time. You're wasting park time, but not your specialty ticketed time. And those lines will always be long. Once they get long, they never get unlong. Maybe at like midnight, but like I'm thinking for the ones that I did, they were always like 2-hour waits. So if you could just go there first, get that out of the way, then you have your entire party to do all the other fun things. You don't have to worry about meeting characters. So let's go back and we talked about Sally and Jack at Main Street. Mickey Mouse also meets there. He's very cute. He's like in a little bat costume. Highly recommend seeing him. When I saw him, it was during, like in between the times where I saw the fireworks and then the parade. Because you kind of have a little bit of time in between the two. And I just went there on Main Street and saw him. And he had like a 10-minute wait. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Other characters you can meet. You can meet Alice, Mad Hatter, Queen of Hearts, Tweedledee, Tweedledum. They are located like near the Teacups ride. You can also meet the two stepsisters and the evil stepmother in Fantasyland. Ariel and Eric, Under the Sea area. You can meet Belle. You can meet Gaston. Those will also be near like Gaston's Tavern. And then you can meet Pluto in Storybook Circus. You can meet Daisy and Goofy in their Halloween attire near Pete's Silly Sideshow. And then this is the one that's also in Fantasyland, but the more popular one. It's all the Winnie the Pooh gang, and they're in their really cute Halloween costumes. So Pooh is Bumblebee, Piglet's a butterfly, Eeyore is a clown, and Tigger is a pirate. They're so freaking cute. They are one of the few characters I did prioritize just because you're never going to see them in those costumes. And then moving on to Adventureland, you can see Aladdin, also very popular. So if you want to see Aladdin, Abu, Jasmine, Genie, prioritizing that, that's like in the Adventureland near the ride. And then you can also see Captain Jack Sparrow near Pirates. And then Frontierland, you can see the Country Bears. They don't like have a specific meet and greet. They just kind of roam around. So if you see them, grab them to say hi, but you don't have to like wait in line to see them. And then also same thing with like Stitch and Lilo and Angel. They're going to be like in that dance party in Tomorrowland.
So when we went, we did not prioritize character meet and greets because
Which is totally fine.
I have a kid who is still kind of scared of that. We did get a picture with Jafar in Adventureland. So this was 2024. So maybe he's not there anymore. And all of the ones you listed, those are all meet and greet where like you get to pose with them and take a picture and maybe interact. But there's a lot of characters that are kind of maybe in the background. So like when you walk in and you get your trick or treat bag, we saw Cruella up on a pedestal, kind of like welcoming people in. And then what we need to also talk about is trick or treating. There were some trick or treat walk through areas where we saw the evil witch or like the evil queen from Snow White, and I think maybe Maleficent, again up on pedestals where you can't pose with them, but you can kind of like get them in the background of your photo.
Yeah. There's varying degrees of how you can interact with characters. Because like the Alice in Wonderland gang that's by the Teacups, they're going to be kind of roaming like the Country Bears. They're not going to be stopping in line, and there's not going to be a photo pass person. Where like a lot of these other ones we talked about will actually have a photo pass one that you can wait in line for.
Yep.
One that's not listed on here, which means it's not guaranteed, but one that was there when I went there, and that's the one that I quote unquote rope dropped for. So right when it was 4 p.m. I went and I got in line for. They were meeting at Silly Pete's sideshow in the back of Storybook Circus was the Seven Dwarves. And that is like the most rare experience you can have where all seven dwarves are there. Yep. And they're like, yeah, it was incredible. And I was one of the first people there. Waited probably 45 minutes until they started meeting. And then once they started meeting, I was like, I don't know, 5 minutes in because I probably was like the fourth person in line. For them, at least, they did the thing where when you leave, you get a postcard with their signatures on it, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Should we talk about trick-or-treating?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that's amazing that's part of this experience.
But here's my what's the word I'm looking for? Hot take. I hate it. I hate it. Like you walk in, they give you a bag. The bag is really cool. It's really durable. But the candy is like your basic Mars brand, like M&Ms, etc. So it's not like you're getting some weird exclusive Disney candy.
Right.
What I don't like about it is that's what my kids want to do. Of course they want to load up on candy, but like you can do that on actual Halloween for free, not at Disney World. So
Yeah.
I actually got kind of frustrated with it. There are multiple trick-or-treat spots and walkthroughs throughout the park. There are lines for them. This is not how I want to spend my time, waiting in line to get basic candy.
Mm-hmm.
And then if your kids have food allergies, which mine do, you can go to a special location. I would say look up where that is because it could change to get a teal bag that signals to the cast members that you have a food allergy. And instead of getting candy, you get a token. And then you have to, at the end of the night, take your tokens to a location at the front of the park to turn it in for the special, like other brand, no nut exposure candy. And to me, this takes an experience I don't want to do already. And then just like, I think ruins it for the kids. Like what kid wants to stand in line for a token? And I'm guessing that they do this so that they're like reserving that safer candy for the kids who really need it versus like people going through and being like, oh, I choose this good earth sucker or whatever. I didn't do that. My kids have food allergies and we didn't go that route because I know plain M&M's fine, peanut M&M's bad, just like I have to deal with for a normal Halloween, Valentine's, fill in the blank kids party anyway. So
Yeah.
I didn't go that route. Like do what is most comfortable for you and your kids' allergy situation. It just didn't seem like that great of an experience.
Yeah, it feels like they're accommodating, but kind of like in an afterthoughts type of way, where it feels like less than if you have the allergy.
Or maybe they tried it in like a more classic way and people, like it was just gone. Like all the allergy-friendly food was taken.
I think that's what it is. I think it's one, just making sure it's super separate, and two, just making sure they have enough to accommodate people so they're not leaving with nothing in their bags. Yeah, really quickly thinking about the trick-or-treating. There are multiple spots around the park. If you wanted to, you could probably just wait until the very end of it. And then, yeah, you have to walk around the park, but at least you're not, one, holding a bag full of candy all night. Two, unless your kids are eating it as they're walking. Two, you're not wasting a lot of time in line because the lines can get long, even though you're constantly moving. It's not a ride or anything. You're just walking to get candy. But the lines can get long. I find that the lines are less long later in the evening as more kids leave. Yeah, I think it's, I like that they offer that because if you have weird feelings about trick-or-treating in general, this is a very safe, family-friendly way to do trick-or-treating at Disney. It's very special.
It's very classic Halloween activity.
Yeah. I also find that if you wait till the very end, so if you go right when it opens, they have to be mindful that they have a limited amount of candy. So they'll probably give you like 1 piece, 2 pieces. If you wait till like 11 or 11:30, they're just like taking a handful and shoving it in your bag. So you might actually be able to walk out with more candy if you wait. So pro tip, just be patient.
All right, here's my other frustration with candy. That's not what I want to eat. I want to eat the exclusive food. I don't want my kids to fill up on the crappy sugar. I want them to have the exclusive higher quality sugar.
Yes, fair. So there are exclusive treats and bites throughout. Like Pecos always has one. There's always one in like Tomorrowland or Fantasyland. When you get there or in advance, they have maps of the event. Please get an event map when you go in, and please check it out online beforehand so you know what the treats are, you know where the Halloween trick-or-treating locations are, you know where everything is, you know where all the like events timings are. Like it's so important to have a map so that you're prepared because there are so many things to do and see, and so many things have long wait times that you just don't want to go in without a plan because you probably will waste too much time doing that. But yes, the exclusive food is fun and good. I highly recommend.
Yes, really good.
3 snacks that have been announced for 2026. There's a mini witch hat from Cosmic Rays, a bowl of bones from the Friar's Nook, and buzzard wings from Pecos Bills.
And you know, the food changes every year, but I remember some of the things we enjoyed were a Jack Skellington cake pop, a beignet, what else? You know, I'm so bad at
I had like
a
tomb, like a Pop-Tart, like a strawberry or raspberry Pop-Tart that was the shape of like a coffin or a tombstone or something. Okay, so you talked about beforehand costumes when you and I were talking offline. This is something that's also really cool about this event is kids can obviously wear costumes. Kids wear like Cinderella dresses all the time. But adults can wear costumes. It's like the only time you can go to Magic Kingdom and wear a full-fledged costume and be totally fine. In fact, if you don't wear a costume, you are looked at like, what are you doing here? When I met the Winnie the Pooh gang and I was like, oh my God, I love your guys' costumes. Tigger looked at me like, what are you wearing? You're just wearing a t-shirt.
Same with Jafar.
So
and
maybe invest in a costume.
Yeah, and even the cast member, like with Jafar, was like, I don't know, Jafar, they just didn't dress up. And like,
Shame.
It's just kind of shunned. But there are some rules, so make sure you read them. Rules about face coverings, things can't drag on the ground, weapons, all of that. So make sure you read the rules.
Yeah, don't bring toy guns, please.
Yep. Yeah, and then what I found challenging about costuming was I grew up in the Midwest. I live in a cold climate now. My idea of a costume for Halloween is like, how do I wear this and stay warm? But we went to the party in September. It was still really hot in Florida. And so I had to rethink, how do I make a costume that my kids, A, won't overheat in, and B, since we did want to ride rides, it's not something that will get in the way of sitting against a seat on a ride or like have a headpiece that would fly off. So they wanted to be a Spinosaurus, dinosaur, and an alligator. And so I actually just bought them green shorts and a t-shirt, and I made like a back thing that they could put on like a backpack. So it could very quickly, like the straps could quickly come off and we could hold it for rides. And then like a headpiece that like they could just easily take off like a hat.
That's awesome. We talked about rides and having costumes be appropriate for rides. Let's talk about rides really fast because this is another thing that makes this event potentially worth it is you can ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train with like a 15-minute wait, which is impossible during the day.
Yeah, we literally rode that one back to back. It's so funny you mentioned that one. Convinced our kids that they would love it. They did. They were like, can we do it again? And this was one of the times we got to say, yes, we can do it again.
Right. Because with lightning lanes, you only get one lightning lane for it. So like, you're like, no, we can't do it again. It's 90 minutes. But here, it truly gets as low as like 10, 15, 20 minutes. Totally manageable and able to be done, which I think is awesome. And they also have, I would say, 1.5 ride overlays. So the big one that's really cool is Space Mountain. And the way they overlay this is Space Mountain is dark. It's a dark ride. Somehow they figured out how to make it even darker, where like there's only one little light up top, but everything else is weirdly pitch black in a different way than it normally is. And I don't even know how to describe it, but if you've ridden it, you will know it is weirdly darker. So that is a cool experience. The other one that's like a half is the teacups. So they play like Halloween music, they have some Halloween lights, but I wouldn't say it's like anything unique or different about the experience besides a different vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I would happy to talk through quickly like how I would plan my party, and maybe you can kind of jump in with how you planned your party. But for me, if I was going to go first time again, I'm for sure going to see all 3 shows, the parade, the fireworks, and the spectacular. I'm going to try and do them later in the evening as much as possible within reason.
Agreed.
Because, again, people always are going to be leaving with smaller kids and the crowds get less.
Yeah, and let me add something here.
Yeah.
So we mentioned this in our episode where we talked about the park with kids. I would recommend renting the stroller from the park. If you have kids who like, are kind of on the border, this is going to be a late night. They might want a place to sit. And in the case of my kids, they actually both fell asleep in that like rock hard Disney stroller. So consider that on your way in.
That's a really good call out. Yeah, I think you might as well do it for this one because, like you said, it ends at midnight and you do want to keep them there as long as possible. Okay, so for sure, planning around the 3 exclusive shows. I also think it's maybe worth meeting one rare character or gang of characters. So whether that's Jack and Sally up front or the Winnie the Pooh gang with their costumes, or if like the 7 Dwarfs are meeting or something that's rare, Jafar, Abu, Genie, those are all really rare characters that do not typically meet in Magic Kingdom. So if you see on the list of ones something that appeals to you, I would plan that in advance. And the way I did that is, again, I went at 4 and I got in line right away They do meet earlier than 7, so to me, I was like, this makes sense to get it out of the way.
Yep.
I would try and do a few trick-or-treating locations. Maybe not even all of them, unless your kids are like gung-ho on like most candy ever, but like, I don't know, lie to them and tell them they only have one trail and that's it. Or be like, there's no candy, sorry, until the very end. I don't know.
Or like pull up, once all the food items are announced, pull that website up at home a week before, get them excited about those food items, get them to like pick like one or two, and maybe try to direct them towards that instead of trick-or-treating.
Definitely try at least one exclusive snack that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to hit all of them, but if you look online and you're like, hey, I want to have that mini witch, you might as well get it because you're not going to be able to get it anywhere else. And then I would try and ride. To me, there's 2 rides that I would make time for. Well, maybe 3. If you really want to ride rides and use this time, ride Seven Dwarfs. Like, that is the thing to do because you're never going to ride it with any shorter wait times. But for me, especially because I don't love Seven Dwarfs, the 2 that are must-dos in my opinion, 1, Haunted Mansion. It has a really cool light. It's usually like red or black lit. It's like really spooky. And when you're waiting in the queue, typically you'll be meeting some ghost friends, like real life ghost friends in the queue that are talking to you, hanging out. Very fun. And then I would also prioritize Space Mountain.
You didn't mention Tron.
That's fair. That's because I guess I was there when Tron was open. I think Tron would fall into the Seven Dwarfs category, where it's always has a long wait during the day. So if you finally want to ride and you have older kids, like ride Tron, ride Seven Dwarfs. But they're not unique at all. Where like Haunted Mansion has some ghosts, Space Mountain's different. So like if you only have time to ride 1 or 2, pick ones that are more unique, where you can't experience them anywhere else. But I do love the fact that like Tron is best ridden at night. It just is. It's way better at night. So the fact that you can ride it at night and not wait an hour, you have a good point. Maybe add that into your repertoire of rides.
Okay.
You have kids. I didn't go with kids. So overall, when you think about like the fun costuming, the fun trick-or-treating that you didn't really like, but like the shows, like, is this for families with kids? Because when you think about it, like it's late at night. It ends at midnight.
Yeah.
And my child goes to sleep at 6:30. So like, is this meant for kids and families?
It's definitely meant for kids and families. I think, again, to reiterate the tips I've kind of sprinkled in, have an easy first half of your day, easy, relaxing first half of the day. Get there as soon as you're allowed in at 4 o'clock to just maximize your day there. You know, I still agree with doing the shows and the parade later to avoid crowds, but you're pushing your luck with, will your kids kind of make it to that point? For me, one of my kids was like all about it, like, let's keep going. And the other one kept asking, can we go back to the hotel? Can we go back to the hotel? But they loved dressing up. They loved trick-or-treating. You know, obviously they like not waiting for rides. They weren't as into the characters. And so that's part of why we didn't prioritize it. But there are characters that have no wait. Like Jafar had no wait. So yeah, definitely still for kids. Like, I'm excited. I definitely want to go back in the future. I'm excited for that. What kid doesn't want to start Halloween in August?
Right.
It's
My
my
kid
kid's
doesn't
favorite
want
holiday.
to eat candy all night long.
Yeah.
Okay, Leanne, we talked about wanting to do everything at this party and the importance of doing it all. But what if you couldn't do it all? We're about to find out what you'd prioritize in this game. Okay, so the game is Build Your Perfect Party. I'm giving you 12 pieces of candy, and every activity that you can do at this party is worth a certain amount of candy. I'll list it out for you, and then you have a few seconds to decide which things you're going to pick with your 12 pieces. You ready? Got it. Perfect. Okay, so the Boo to You Parade is 4 pieces of candy. Yowza. The fireworks is also 4. The Hocus Pocus show is 3. The Seven Doors Mine Train ride is 2. The Trick or Treat trails, your favorite, are also 2. Character meet and greets are 3. Ride overlays are 1. Magic shots are 1. And then an exclusive dining snack is 2.
I'm ready.
You're ready? Oh, okay. That was quick. Hit me with your perfect Mickey's Not So Scary ship party.
Okay. So definitely the Hocus Pocus show and the parade. I'm going to sacrifice the fireworks.
Okay, so you're at 7.
Yep, so that's 7. And then snack for 2. I feel like 2 is expensive for one snack. I feel like it should be like more than one snack. But okay. And then 1 for ride overlays because like I love rides, but I want like a unique experience that I can't get some other time.
Okay. But that's only 10, and I'm giving you 12.
Oh, you're giving me 12. More food?
Nom,
Definitely
nom, nom,
not
nom.
trick or treat trails.
Do you
Why
want to
is
do
Seven
Seven
Dwarfs
Dwarfs
Mine-
Mine Train?
Why is it its own call out?
Because it's like a fancy ride. It's like a single pass ride.
Okay,
So the
well, then I'll use...
And the ride overlays is, I'm thinking like your Teacups, your Space Mountain. I'll even put Haunted Mansion in there, but like Seven Dwarfs falls into the standard rides.
Yeah, okay. I'll do Seven Dwarfs then.
Okay. I think that's a great party, especially if you have kids that love Seven Dwarfs, because I think that's a perfect combination of everything exclusive, but also putting a few rides that are popular into it because there are 0 wait times when they're there.
Yeah. Well, and I would say I would care about the cool character meet and greets if I didn't have one child who was scared of them.
Yeah, that's fair. So you could easily swap that out if you had kids that love characters instead of
Yes.
like rides. Okay.
Yes. Yay.
So-
Wait. What's your perfect party?
Oh, I didn't actually think about it. Do you want me to do it too?
I think you should. What's
This is a-
Kate's
this was a-
perfect party?
This was a one-way game, Leanne. Okay. I think I'm gonna do definitely the parade because I really like that parade. So that's 4. I liked the fireworks show too, but I don't like it enough to spend 4 on it because I could just see fireworks in general. Like I don't necessarily need the villains one. So I'm going to skip that. I'm going to do the trick or treat trails since you're not. And I think that's a really cool thing. So I'm at 6. I'll do the character meet and greets for 9. I'll do a snack for 11. And then I guess I'll also do ride overlays for my 12 because I love a Space Mountain.
Okay. Sounds good. We're pretty similar.
Yeah,
We can hang.
I guess we just swapped out like characters versus Seven Dwarfs. Really. Oh, and the trick or treat trails, and you're getting like more food. Okay, great. If you guys have any more questions or like very specific things like, hey, I'm thinking this, or should I prioritize this? Like, let us know. Like, email us, follow us on socials, like DM us. Happy to talk through just our thoughts on it and our experiences. But yeah, please go to this event. It's super fun. I love spooky season. I love Halloween. Love Halloween Horror Nights that we're not going to
Me
talk
too.
about. But so yeah, please enjoy this spooky season by going to Mickey's Not So Scary. And with that, I've been Kate.
And I've been Leanne.
Spooky.
Ooh.
Boo. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
I don't need a map to